I'm Emily Larsen, and I am the head of exhibitions and programs here at the Springville Museum of Art. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to organize or structure your tour for success as you take your students or visitors through our virtual exhibitions. And what's great about these techniques is they'll work for our virtual exhibitions, and then in the future, when you come to a physical exhibition, you can use these tools as well. So the 4 parts of your tour are going to be an introduction, the discussion, transitions, and a conclusion. So as you bring your students either into the virtual exhibition or the physical space of the gallery, you're going to welcome them to this space and introduce the exhibition you'll be discussing. You want to come up with a really strong theme or thesis that's going to guide the discussion for your group during your time in the exhibition. Each exhibition that you'll be visiting has its own thesis or theme already attached to it. So you're welcome to use those themes or theses if that's helpful for you. For our 2 virtual exhibitions, Grand Ambitions and Soviet Stories, they each have a thesis that can be really fruitful for discussion with students and visitors. Grand Ambitions is all about how Utah artists have shown ambition from the 19th century to the present day, and what ambition means. So you can really use that as the connecting thread for your students. What does it mean to be ambitious, and how do these artworks reveal that ambition for Utah artists? For Soviet Stories, it's all about complicated layers of meaning. What are the layers of meaning in these artworks? What part is propaganda from the state government? What part is the artist's voice and perspective? And what shows the experiences of the real people in the Soviet Union? And with your students, you can decipher what's real, what's idealized, what's propaganda, where's the artist, and really discuss these complicated layers of meaning. But you don't have to use those themes. You can come up with a thesis or theme of your own that connects to things that your group is interested in or something you're studying in class. So you just want to have a connecting thread that's going to connect your discussion for your students, so they're focused on one big idea as you go through these exhibitions. The next part of the tour is the discussion, and that's really the meat of these tour experiences for the students and visitors. As you go through the virtual tours or visit the museum, you'll want to facilitate lively discussion amongst your students or your visitors. You're not an expert that's telling them all the facts about the paintings or the artworks that you're seeing. You're really a facilitator facilitating meaning making with the works of art, facilitating the students finding their own personal connections to the artwork and connections to the things you're learning in class. In later videos, you're going to be learning some techniques, how to craft questions to really engage your students and facilitate these discussions. But just remember, you are a facilitator, and the goal is for you all as a group to really make meaning in the galleries. As you're facilitating this discussion too, you want to make sure you're really actively listening to the comments your students or visitors are making. What are they interested in? And letting that guide the discussion. You want to make connections between the different comments your students or visitors are making. Did Sally say something that connects to something that John said earlier? How do their interpretations of these artworks converge and diverge? What's similar, what's different? And how can that as a whole help us make more meaning with these works of art? The next thing you'll want to consider as you plan your tour through these exhibitions is transitions. As you plan your theme or thesis and what's going to be guiding your group through the exhibition, you'll want to consider which artworks you want to choose to discuss that will help you really explore that theme. And as you choose those artworks, you'll decide, okay, if I'm going to go from artwork A to artwork B, how do I want to transition that discussion so that my students or visitors can continue to make meaning and learn as we go through this experience in this tour? So you'll want to come up with some ways to really transition from point to point and choose your artworks ahead of time. But always be flexible and allow for new artworks that your students are interested in to be part of the conversation if that comes up in the gallery. The final thing you'll want to plan and consider is your conclusion. And as you conclude with your students, you'll want to give them some time to reflect on their experience and their meaning making in the galleries. What was personally meaningful to them? What did they notice or learn today as they went through these exhibitions? Give them some time to reflect on their experience. You'll also want to re-emphasize that thesis or theme so they can continue to learn and have that thread that's connecting their experience in the galleries. And if you do all those 4 things, have a strong introduction with a thesis or theme, facilitate a lively discussion, consider the artworks and transitions between those, and then conclude giving them time to reflect, you'll have a really strong experience in the galleries.